Welcome to Nameless Debate Radio, where radioactivity is contagious.
If it's alright, I'd love to get Haytham to restate the claim first.
Okay.
What claim?
Maybe
claim?
we can
That
restate
there are
it.
That Imam
characteristics
Tawhidi
that
is a
make
liar.
someone. Well, okay, that is that the one that you were talking about? Instinct,
I don't know. That's what I'm talking
No,
about.
let's just let Vivi restate it because he's the one who's replying.
Okay. I think what I heard basically was that first what's his name? Daz was saying do you have any proof for knowing that the Quran wasn't corrupted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Haytham went along with that and said, yeah, he can prove it.
Yeah, that's what I heard as well.
Yes, and I would. Yes, go ahead.
I said no. I said you can prove it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that is what
yeah.
he just said. You said, why'd you say no?
Oh, I said. I thought I sounded like can't, but forgive
Yeah.
me.
Are there compelling reasons to think that it has been?
No.
I can say with
Has
a very
been
high.
proven.
Yeah, but that's just being. That's like skepticism, right? That's
No,
just.
but like, what are there compelling reasons to think it's proven? I would say no.
Just to be clear, are there any compelling? Okay, so you have this text, right? You have the Quranic text.
Yeah.
Now, of the information available, right, scientifically, right, there are people who probably study this.
Yes.
Those people, have they had any compelling reasons to consider this hypothesis that it has indeed been tampered with?
Okay. I'll give you some
Uh-huh.
evidence, even though I'm Muslim myself. Some possible evidence that can suggest that is that we have what we call riwayats, right? And that means like different forms of recitation. And what happens is different vowels can be changed from riwayah to riwayah. And so that is maybe something. Different dialects have different words that actually do change the meaning, but they still are generally, technically speaking, the same.
So is this a
So they're often
verifiable
used in the same
hypothesis?
way.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can go and search out. There's a riwayah Hafs and a riwayah Qalun and a riwayat different riwayahs, different places read different riwayahs. But the thing is, it's only a change of certain vowels, syllables, and basically sometimes even letters. But overall, this like the way how it has been written, or has been collected the first time, it matches up with that because back then they didn't have the dots or the accents, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything else. Any like concrete evidence that maybe the text itself, what it was trying to convey or something, had been tampered with, or the actual overall
No.
message of the Quran? Is there any of that?
There's nothing. There's no evidence for that at all.
Yeah.
The only
would
difference
you-
is like your man said about vowel sounds and
Okay,
basically
so-
accents.
But it sounds. to
you
me-
have a text here, right? So like, even if I was a scientific minded person, right? I have a text here, and it seems as if there have been some like really, really, really surface level changes here. Like, it really did not change the actual context or like the contents of the book, right? Why would I have any reason to really take any of these hypotheses seriously, that it's been changed in such a way that it's of any importance to anybody who actually like leads their life by the book or whatever?
The thing is, the Quran, like, it's not, there's no difference at all. Like, even though there's like it says like the wafs and that type of Quran, you can still see the exact same Quran, like from the time of Uthman, in the exact same condition as it is today. And that was from 15 years after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the Birmingham Quran. So
I think the best argument to be made for like it not being corrupted is it's been mass transmitted, like memorized by the masses, and all of them. Although by transmission through orally might lead to issues, but if you can't say that everybody's going to make the same mistake at the same time.
Yeah, but the fact is that they actually did make different mistakes, which is the whole point of saying that you can't prove that any particular interpretation is true.
no, they didn't.
Well, that's actually. Well, I mean, I don't know.
There's a whole bunch of different sects of Islam, man. Like
I've
seven
never.
sects.
Wait. That doesn't
Wait.
prove. That doesn't prove
doesn't-
that.
yeah.
It doesn't prove that.
It proves that they have differing interpretations.
Hold on. Wait.
Hold on,
Let me talk.
Okay, did you read? Oh wait, before you go on, just to help you touch up on things, did you read the whole chat debate that we were having before, or like are you just coming into the conversation?
I'm coming into it blind.
Okay, so
but,
the original claim,
which is pretty clear to be honest.
Yeah, the original claim is that there is a distinction, and there are certain characteristics that you can make, or that one can make, that makes someone either a true Muslim or not a true Muslim.
Yes,
and
that's
because
true.
there are so many, we're saying that because there are so many different types of Muslims, okay, or people that interpret being a Muslim differently, that there's no one way to prove whether or not one's interpretation is better, worse, correct, or not correct.
That's hold on. That's, for one, there's a couple things here, right? That's an intuitive argument. So what you're doing is something I do, right?
I'm sorry,
so
do you have a way to...
you have a roughly defined criterion for how you navigate life, right? As do I. You see many interpretations of the Holy Book, right? And you practically say, I don't really understand what you mean by this criterion. I'm not a religious scholar. It seems as if there's a lot of arguments among even people who are very educated on this. So it doesn't seem as if there's like this strong criterion or like one unified text to my knowledge, right? And I agree with that intuitively.
Actually,
right?
Hold on. Understanding of the argument,
but not rationally, right? It doesn't rationally follow because of certain empirical observations, and paired with that certain intuitions, right? That there can't be an established canon of something, right? And the example I was going to get into.
Established by who?
Okay, but like before you start talking though, like that's not what I heard from what he said. Isn't it possible you got him wrong?
Yeah, no, it's certainly possible.
Yeah, of course.
So just to
probably
probably
you should check that you got him right before you jump into your example.
Who would be the person or people that would deem something canon?
Why?
Why would it have to be people?
Because they contradict.
Hold on. I was gonna. This is the importance of my example, which is okay. Seriously,
bro, can you shut up and let him speak?
Okay, which is have you ever seen the movie The Shining?
Yeah. I've seen.
Yeah, by Kubrick.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there are pretty interesting interpretations of that film, right? I really wouldn't say intuitively that any of them seem to be the most truest, right? But nonetheless, right? There probably are certain inserted characteristics in that film that you can actually read into that were intentionally put there by Kubrick, right?
Yeah, but and if Kubrick is dead,
yeah, exactly.
How can you know if you're interpreting it correctly?
Yeah. And then you get into the actual discussion, right? It's not that there isn't
the question
a right.
Is,
hold on. The question isn't, is there a right interpretation? Is that even possible? Of course it is. There probably is a right interpretation.
That wasn't the question. Listen more carefully. The question is, can you prove that one interpretation is correct? Can you?
Yeah,
theoretically you could. Yeah.
In principle, but in practice, can you?
Hold on.
If you dug up his grave and resurrected him, then yeah.
Let me.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Theoretically,
in practice, can you suggest a way?
No, he's not saying that. Like, right, for one, why stop being so patronizing to people, right?
I'm not being
stop interrupting people. Yes, you are.
The question is,
stop. You've been a whiny little guy.
Can you show a proof?
Keep interrupting people. Like, just let people talk, right?
That's because all you're doing is talking in circles.
Yeah, like a little baby. Just shut up, people. Right?
You got me, man.
Just to be clear, you could get about as practically close as possible theoretically in terms of like what's actually in practice.
What does that mean?
Hold on. Hold on. To be clear, in terms of what is actually,
you weren't clear.
I was saying to be clear.
Gosh, shut up,
guys. Okay, so listen. You could probably do a lot of studies on this, right? Like you could study the words, what they meant at the time. You could probably source a lot of different historical sightings. Short of going back and getting a time machine. Okay. short of going back in a time machine, you're probably not going to get like a 100% guarantee.
No, you're
But science isn't about 100% guarantees.
I mean,
right?
what's a proof?
Actually,
Okay.
What does
Listen.
proof mean?
Oh my God.
Shut up, bro.
What does
All
proof
I can give you one sync is, and this is what I'm trying to do, right? I'm not a okay in sync. The one thing that I'm trying to do here, right, is to just give you an approximation given my system, right?
I'm asking, like, what is a proof? Is your approximation going to fit that category?
Sure. I would say, yeah, sure.
So what's a proof then? How does it fit the category?
Yeah, it fits the category historically. It doesn't fit the category in some other scientific.
In your terms.
All right, hold on.
I'd say it's a strong inductive argument.
I don't accept that.
No,
Wait,
I
hold on.
No,
Okay, listen. Okay, listen. Let me
Completely
address this guy.
You reject
Is it
induction for a proof, just to be clear.
I reject that induction is proof. That's what the problem of induction
Okay. Do you believe in global warming?
Time out.
Do you think that global warming
I
is
do.
global warming?
I
is
believe in global warming. I don't think that we can
Hold on.
prove it with certainty, which is what proof means.
Okay,
Wait,
then this is
listen.
okay. Then you can't. Okay, then just to be clear, there is no proof here. Then.
Duh! Wow,
Yeah.
that's a real proof.
Okay. Yeah, if you're rejecting induction, then of course. But I'm talking about a Muslim, a reasonable Muslim who has made certain,
Okay, what's a fact?
Hold on. A reasonable Muslim who kind of is pro scientific reasoning can make a really, really good approximate inductive argument for the coherence of the Quran, given certain historical factors, given certain linguists who have certain beliefs, or they've come to certain.
Before you talk again, before you go off on your tangent, just answer a couple of questions, Icon. What is a fact?
What is a fact? I don't know. I'm not comfortable defining it.
You don't know?
What is true?
Okay, well, a fact is something that actually is true, not something you think is true.
I don't know. I don't really think it's important to even outline what a fact is.
Well, it is, because let me tell you, when you look up the definition of proof, what it says is...
It's almost going to get into tautology.
Stop talking. What it says is, evidence or argument establishing a fact or the truth of a statement. Now, something being true or a fact is not predicated upon subjectivity. It is not a probabilistic claim. It is certain.
Yeah, again, this is kind of getting into the junctures of like what is a fact, right? So what a fact?
No.
Right, listen.
Let me explain.
I want to address this guy really quickly.
Please let me explain, please.
He had his question about Islam.
A fact. If you want to get pedantic about it, if a fact to you is only 100% certainty, then you're probably not going to be able to make a fact.
That's not what a fact is.
Okay.
Right.
You're probably not going to be able to make.
That's not to do with certainty.
You're probably not going to make fact claims about anything.
I'm just going to address.
You couldn't even, just to be clear, you couldn't even make fact claims about other minds existing. You couldn't make
wow. Does that bother you?
Is
that a problem that you have?
No, it doesn't. To be clear. One sync.
Can you stop over talking?
One instinct. Sorry. I would define fact probably differently than you, right? I'd probably define it.
But I don't think you're doing a very good job, because I just gave you a dictionary definition of it and you objected to it.
Well, the dictionary definition isn't necessarily a philosophical definition.
Okay, but I am using the philosophical variation of the dictionary definition, man.
Okay, which philosophical dictionary?
Pardon?
Just to be clear, which one?
Alright, I'll go and get it from an actual philosophy database, alright?
Okay, sure. And just to be clear, the problem with a lot of definitions is, and especially in philosophy, right?
Just stop. Okay,
I'm gonna speak. Listen, you keep interrupting me. That's total projection.
Dude, you asked me to tell you what a definition was.
You listen. No, I didn't ask you. You gave it to me. You gave it to me. You gave it to me. You gave me the definition.
But you challenged the definition I was giving you.
No, to be clear, I didn't challenge it. I said that I used a different one. I know. I said I used a different one.
And when I said I got it from a
that's
dictionary,
not per se challenging
what
it.
Philosophical dictionary? That is a challenge.
Guys, that's not. No, it is not a challenge. Just saying that I use a different one. I'm not a linguistic realist. I don't think that words have like
Okay.
very specific conceptual tyings to them that can't be unbound.
Alright.
I'm not challenging it. That's just
Listen,
complete.
listen.
yeah.
Okay, listen.
Let me say something, right? This tirade may have been applicable to things like if you're like subjective things, but there are clear certain things that make someone a Muslim or not. That's the point, right? And it doesn't matter what sects say about this and that, what different sects say this and that. People can say that a tree is made out of stone. That doesn't make a tree made out of stone, right? This is what I mean.
Yeah, but what's
Correct.
that supposed
However,
to demonstrate?
hold on, Instinct. Let me, because I want to talk to him about this. Okay, you're trying to say that there is an absolute truth of the meaning of Islam that exists. I am not debating that exists. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not debating that exists. What I am debating is the fact that there is no way to know for sure that anyone alive today or after the guy who actually wrote it himself.
Again, this isn't. You need to.
No.
You need to either.
No,
Okay.
shut up,
There's
shut
no
up,
way
shut
to
up.
know. There's no way to know.
There's
You're
no
not going to
way-
talk
there's
over
no-
other people.
There are a lot of
Yeah,
things
let
that
him finish.
Okay, yes.
Just let him finish.
Anyway, so there is no way to know for a fact that any one person's interpretation of the Quran is correct or incorrect. There's no actual re-demonstrate. Like, you can't say, okay, let's take two groups of people and we'll have one of them, they'll live under this interpretation of the Quran, and then you'll have the other group live under the other interpretation of Quran, observe them, and then see if one of them, like, what would happen to the one group that actually was living under the correct, quote unquote, interpretation of Islam versus the other one? What would be there to demonstrate the fact that it is the right one?
Okay, from a point of view like that, if you take that point of view, then yes, I would agree with you that there's no certain way, right? But that's just, I guess that's just from a kind of secular point of view. If we get into Islamic point of views, we have the entire corpus, I guess, like the ahadith corpus that explains the exact, the main interpretation of it, and this is like unilaterally agreed upon by all the scholars of mainstream, Islam. Different sects, because they deviate, are obviously there are differences, and they're in the minority, and because
Different
they deviate,
sects.
listen, they deviate, and they're in the because they deviate from the establishment, which
sects?
is just it doesn't matter, right?
No,
Because
it
they
does matter to
deviate.
me.
No, it
How
doesn't
many
matter.
are there?
Shut up.
How
right?
many are there?
No, shut up. It doesn't matter. Listen.
It matters to me.
No, it doesn't.
Hold on,
I
Instinct.
don't care.
Let him continue what he's saying for a second.
So, we have the establishment, the mainstream, sectless Islam, just Islam, right? The mainstream, what people would call Sunnis, right?
So it's Sunni.
But let's just listen, right? Now, other sects, obviously, they disagree, and they're smaller, and they deviate from the mainstream, right? For which we have, the proof, the authentic traditions, and the actual science, called the isnad, which denotes exactly the way that the Prophet, peace be upon him, interpreted this and this, part of the Quran. So with that, we can clearly, we have a literal chain, that details, many tiny aspects of how exactly the Prophet did this.
I get what you're saying, right? But these are people trying to interpretate what the Prophet was saying, right?
Well, no, because
you can't say that they are interpreting what he is saying exactly.
No,
okay, just quickly.
You can, because
interpreting.
I'm sorry. What you can't? You can't.
It doesn't matter. Just that's so pedantic, bro. Just let him speak.
It
Like, just
matters
stop
to
correcting.
me.
Shut up, man. Just stop whining.
Eat a dick.
Anyway, listen. So,
hey, Daz, were you offended about that?
So
when he said what?
The point about it is, if
you
we
said
have
that, no, I was not.
When I corrected you.
No, I was not.
People.
I was not.
It's not
it's
people.
interesting how Haytham got offended on your.
It's interesting
on your
how
behalf,
Haytham. Anyway, listen. It's not a question of people interpreting, like, because it's obviously there are things where people say, "Oh, we interpret how he did this.
Well,
Most of the that we have a thing that says, yeah, he literally did this and he literally said that. So there's no need to interpret it. You just
but
follow
words
it, right?
are up. If I say it's generally accepted by almost everyone that speaks, English, that when you say I'm going to murder this person, right? That means I'm going to kill them. Okay. However, that is up for interpretation because some people may just get so mad and they don't mean it at all. What they really mean to say is something else, but they say, I'm going to fucking murder you. So just because they use the exact words which have a definite interpretation of what they mean, that doesn't mean that's exactly what.
Have you ever heard of hyperbole?
No, I appreciate that, but the fact is, we have differing accounts of the same. Oh, sorry, different accounts. Perhaps the wrong kind of word. We have many accounts of the same kind of thing, like with different word usage that all convey the exact same message. So when it comes to things like that, there's no room for argument. These are actual clear things.
I have a question, all right? You think they're clear, but why are there different words? Well, like in general, when you have two different words, why are they different and not the same?
Right. Okay, so let me explain what I mean by that, right?
No, just answer my question. Don't go off on a tangent. Listen. Answer my question very directly, all right?
I'm gonna answer
listen
it.
to me.
I'm
Listen
gonna
to me.
answer it.
We have sun, all right? We have sun and moon. Why are there different words?
That's not what I mean by different
But
words.
listen, answer my fucking question.
What? What do you mean?
Why is there a different word for the sun than there is for the moon?
I'm tired of hearing your voice.
Well, then I will mute you. Answer my question.
Good. No, I don't care because I don't really want to talk to you.
Well, no, I didn't mean mute you like you mute me, buddy. I meant mute you for everybody. Oops. It's not unreasonable for me to ask you to answer the question.
Yeah, that guy is literally just completely irrational.
It was good fun.
Oh yeah, dude. I would say that his argument was not compelling even a little bit.
No, I didn't find it to be particularly convincing.
Like, I didn't even hear one thing that made any everyone was saying the same thing, right? The things that I was asking him is what everyone wanted to know. I don't know why I had to restate it so many. That guy is unbelievable.
He just doesn't like me, man. That's what.
Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, and join us in the Nameless Debates Discord. We hope to see you there.